Hello guys, welcome back to Royal Gist, where we give you the right update and all of what you will like to know, so please take some minutes of your time to subscribe, like, comment and hit the notification button. In 1996, once I turned into a correspondent for CBS News, the Wall Street Journal published a column I wrote approximately liberal bias with inside the media. I were complaining approximately it for years, quietly, diplomatically, in-house, however I would possibly as properly were speaking to the wall. None of my liberal colleagues took me seriously. So, I threw warning to the wind and wrote the op-ed. When I were given a name from an editor on the paper pronouncing the piece could run on Tuesday, I said, be organized to run my obituary on Wednesday. I knew that what I wrote wouldn't cross over properly at CBS. And it didn't. Some of my colleagues sincerely known as me a traitor. No fooling. But you recognize what they are saying, approximately sticks and stones and all that. I knew what I turned into speaking approximately. I turned into telling the fact, although they didn't need to pay attention it. Which brings me to Representative Liz Cheney, R. Wyoming, a lady I recognize extra than nearly every other baby kisser. Before I cross to a long way, allow me be clear, I'm now no longer approximately to make any comparisons among Cheney and myself. I'm now no longer delusional. She's a countrywide hero, as a long way as I'm concerned, and if she ever makes a decision to run for president, I'll vote for her early and often, because the pronouncing goes. But we do have at the least one factor in common: she additionally has been known as a traitor. Her crime is that she voted to question Donald Trump, after which agreed to take a seat down at the House committee investigating what position he can also additionally have performed with inside the January 6, 2021, riot or insurrection, in case you prefer, on the U.S. Capitol. For this, as one report positioned it, to Trump's allies on and rancid Capitol Hill, Cheney is sincerely a traitor to the party, a Pelosi Republican. Despite what we've got in common, there's one large distinction among Cheney and me. I did now no longer lose my task at CBS News for telling the fact approximately liberal bias with inside the news. Fortunately, Michael Jordan got here to my defense. No, now no longer that Michael Jordan, some other Michael Jordan, the one who ran Westinghouse, which on the time owned CBS. On August 16, they'll preserve a #1 election in Wyoming, and it's now no longer searching proper for the GOP congresswoman who because 2017 has held Wyoming's lone seat in Congress. As Brad Coker, who carried out a latest poll, positioned it, I can't take into account the remaining time I noticed an incumbent down 22 factors in a House race, except it turned into any person who were indicted or convicted of a crime. Cheney's crime, as a long way her detractors are concerned, is that she went rogue. She gave Trump supporters ammunition to apply towards him by telling the fact approximately his position in what took place that day on the Capitol. Maybe it's sincerely human nature, however once in a while it's less complicated to swallow a lie than to need to address the fact. In my case, my fellow CBS News reporters didn't need to pay attention one in every of their very own pronouncing. Yes, there genuinely is a liberal bias with inside the news. And what made it even harder to take, in 28 years I had by no means, even as soon as been accused of injecting bias in my stories, and I wasn't even a conservative on the time. In Cheney's case, a variety of Republicans don't need to pay attention that Donald Trump attempted to thieve an election that he claims Democrats stole from him. They don't need to pay attention that he attempted to subvert the non-violent and orderly switch of presidential power. I don't need to put in writing her political obituary too soon, however in some weeks, I'm afraid we're going to research that Liz Cheney misplaced her task due to the fact she turned into brave and unafraid and stood up for the fact. Her opponent, in case you have been wondering, has the endorsement of Donald Trump. Whatever her detractors might imagine of Liz Cheney, she's no traitor. The price isn't worth of an extreme response. But allows say, only for argument's sake, that she loses the election and claims, with none evidence, that she genuinely won, that she misplaced most effective due to the fact the Democrats stole it from her, that the restoration turned into that the election turned into rigged. And then allows consider that she in some way attempts to live in office, no matter the reality, that she misplaced the election. If that have been to happen, then there'd be a few justification for citing the